Welcome back, Shalligators. Today we are talking about Sofia Vergara's divorce. I know. I didn't see this coming. Some people say that they did, based on the way Joe Manganiello, how do you say it? Joe Hot Guy, Joe Hot Werewolf from True Blood. Did you guys watch True Blood? Put that in the spank bank, let me tell you. Joe Magic Mike, Joe XXL, Joe Smoke Show. The way he wished her happy birthday, which was Feliz cumpleaños, Sofia. And people that's dry, red flag. And I hate when the internet's right. Even though I am part of this, I know I am being such a hypocrite right now. I know that. I'm a YouTuber. Of course I'm a hypocrite. Hello? But I hate when we're in the age of the boy who cried outrage, right? We're the boy who cried backlash, outrage. Everyone's addicted to outrage. And it's like, no matter what a celebrity posts, people just shred them and mine it for the most inane evidence of drama. But this time it was true. Obviously, once a celebrity announces a divorce, it's pretty much all over but the shouting. I mean, unless something breaks and they can't help but talk about it kind of in real time, usually a smart celebrity will announce something after the dust has already settled, or at the least they've worked out the agreements of who's getting what and blah, blah, blah. And all they got to do is maybe sign the papers, So I could picture these two already have gotten it all taken care of, but people getting real suspicious if he didn't say anything for her birthday, and can you imagine, breaking up with someone and feeling this pressure to still be happy birthday to my world, this is my sun and my stars. Would that not be awful? Even if you were totally in a good place, maybe you were dating someone else. Maybe he's dating someone else. And it's hey, by the way, I have to post happy birthday for my ex-wife. That sucks. And then people smell blood in the water and you're fuck. Maybe they were hoping to get another 6 months before anyone figured it out, right? Your hearts kind of go out to both of them. My heart mostly goes out to him because damn, what a smoke Sofia is. Sofia Vergara is 51, living her best life in Italy. Some people say she's had a butt thing done, butt injections. Girl, get it. I don't even care. You look fantastic. Inject whatever you want in there. I don't care. Live your life. But we're going to explore some of the topics you guys suggested. I'm actually not sure at the time of making this video what's going to bubble up, but I think a lot of you guys brought up the concept of, does marriage even work anymore? Because it's been a bad week for love, hasn't it? It's been Ariana getting divorced, now Sofia. And they're very different people. They're very different. They're different ages. They're different romantic histories. One has kids, one doesn't, And it's hard to look around and think that this is still a good idea. So maybe we're just going to talk about marriage in general. And I have this tugged at my heartstrings because Sofia was my wedding twin. We got married on the same day, November 14th, 2015. And she lasted a hell of a lot longer than I did, and I was always rooting for them and yet jealous because they did last longer. And, it's like when, I don't know, it's this weird parallel universe. It's you're watching you. It's not you, it's Sofia Vergara. But it's I was watching my story, how I am with my finger quotes lately, watching my timeline with someone else. Do you know what I mean? It must be how it feels to have a baby with your friend, around the same age, and you're always comparing her kid and when they started walking and what college they're going to. It must be like that. It's weird. As a child-free woman, I can't really find another comparison, but yeah, it just makes me super sad. So we're going to talk about that. Also, I need to rant about something. I need to rant about some things here. And I also need to rant about Miranda Lambert because what a little bitch she's being right now. So we've got some lessons from Miranda. I've got some questions for you guys about this allegedly kidnapped woman in Alabama. We're going to get into all of it. But before we do, okay, last time I gave you guys a dispatch from the Nady News Network, and there's another one. This one's good. This one's all good. Okay, so I don't know if your mom does this, But my mom like watches, she adds my weather location in Bozeman, Montana to her weather app. And she's like, well, how's the weather? I'm like, it's raining. She's like, oh, I know. It's going to rain till 4 p.m. It's like, why'd you ask? You know what it is. And she's very into the air quality index, which is not something I even like knew about on the weather app. Okay, so if you have an iPhone, you go to the weather app, Bozeman, it's 80. And in Bozeman, when it's 80, it feels like it's 120,000 degrees. So, and I'm bringing this up because remember in New York a few weeks ago, and you guys all over America have been experiencing this, if you're in Canada for sure, it's wildfire smoke. Now in Montana, we get this every summer. And when it was happening in New York, I was like, anything to wear a mask, you guys. You just love your mask. But Montana's just sitting there with the popcorn like, oh, welcome to hell. Welcome to hell. It's really rough. Like we get it from Washington fires, Canadian fires, our own wildfires. It's really dry out here. It's really hot. So it can be a real problem. And I have asthma. Even if you don't, the index can get so bad. It's like, I'm coughing now. It's bad. So, okay, I'm going to give you guys some hacks here. All right. Okay. So you want to look down here at the air quality index. Okay. So 41, right now it's 41 in Bozeman. So you want to keep an eye on it. If it gets over 100, that's bad. That's bad. It'll tell you good, but just so like you have an idea, if it gets over 100, that's bad. In New York that day, when it was super smoky those days, the air index was 401. 401. I know. Crazy. Wild. So keep an eye on that just for your own safety. And there's an app. What's it called? Air Now. This isn't an ad. I just am into these things. I like data and I love maps. So it's the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, made this app, and it's literally about smoke and wildfires. So your iPhone doesn't give you that much information. Like it can't tell you where it's coming from, but that app can. It's free. And you know what's funny? I was watching Ghostbusters the other day, like the original one. And the bad guy in Ghostbusters isn't the ghosts. It's the EPA. Do you guys know this? Have you ever noticed that? The EPA is who's trying to shut down the Ghostbusters. And it's this like pencil-y guy. The Environmental Protection Agency. They're like, fuck you, Kevin. And because he doesn't want like toxic waste spewing out into the sewers. They're like, boo. So funny. Can you imagine? If like the recycling company was the bad guy in a Marvel movie. It's so good. Miranda Lambert, we got to talk about this. I'm sorry. This is a bit of a potpourri, this video. I don't know if you guys have heard. Miranda Lambert, if you don't know, is a huge country star. I love her. I think of her as sort of like a messy spirit animal. You know, Crystal. She's like Crystal's cousin. Miranda. I'm Miranda. Y'all eat yet? Hey. You're looking kind of fat there, Sharon. She's just a bit of a pill. She's an absolute man eater. She is, when I first started hitting it big as a YouTuber, I was talking about Miranda Lambert because she loves to steal men. And if you're in the Shallontrage, I know, you're going to throw stuff. You're like, glass houses. I know. I have a crush on a guy with a girlfriend. I know. But, I mean, she likes married men and men with pregnant wives, pregnant girlfriends, pregnant fiancés. She is a mess. She's an incredible songwriter, but she is a little bitch. I have heard horror stories about her. Like she was sleeping with her married tour manager when they were on tour and told the wife, who's like back home, that she's going to burn her house down. These are things I have heard. So allegedly. I have heard on very good authority that as recently as a year and a half ago, she dumped a salad on a woman's head in a nice restaurant in Nashville when she was there with her husband. Miranda was with her husband, who is literally had a girlfriend about to give birth, and a separate ex or something. He was a very messy thing. And this other one was with her husband. They start a fucking fight at a nice restaurant. What kind of celebrity starts a fight where someone gets a salad dumped on their head? So I love her, but she's just kind of trash. I love her. And I genuinely think, I know I'm ruining my chances here. I genuinely think if we met, we'd be really good friends, but you'd have to watch her. You'd have to watch her around your man. She loves to snatch. And you'd have to watch her if you see something wrong. Because listen, she's doing a residency in Las Vegas, which I really want to see. And she stopped the show mid-song to scold some people. Let's watch this real quick.
I'm gonna stop right here for a sec, Danny. I'm sorry. about the SOFIA not listening to the song. It's pissing me off a little bit.
Little bitch you are, Miranda. Here's why I have a problem with this. By the way, there's no really, well, no, there's some advice coming. No, she doesn't have a problem with people filming her at the concert, right? She wasn't telling them. When I heard she tells a fan to stop filming mid-song, I thought, oh, she wants people to put away the capture. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Maybe she's got a no phone rule. I don't know. But that is at least for the good of the audience. Hey, man. We'll do one song and it's the filming. So film this fucking song. We're going to be running all over. I'm going to like pose and pop, whatever. Then let's put your phones away. No, she's fine with people filming her. They just can't film themselves. When the attention is off of her, she's got a real issue. And my very first thought, and I texted this to my best friend because we both love Miranda. I was like, I guarantee you that chick who she chirped was hotter than her. And wait, what does she look like? Oh, here we go. God, I hate being right all the time. I hate being right. And by the way, look at where this girl is standing. This is like a VIP table. So expensive. It's right by the stage. They got bottles of champagne. She paid a lot of money to be there. She paid Miranda's bills. She should be a little bit more magnanimous and a little less twatty. Maybe a little less twatty. And to publicly scold her like that, and by the way, it takes a few seconds to get there, but this video ends with people, like someone's filming it, and the people in the row ahead, they're like, fuck this, like we're leaving. You don't do that to fans. Nope. They get up and walk out. People are walking out. And it's not gone well for Miranda. I think it's such a bad look. Like when people are rude to their fans, it's like, who do you think keeps the lights on in your trailer park, Miranda? She literally does have a trailer. I'm not just being a bitch. And, it got me to thinking, no one above you is coming for you. I've said this before. No one above you is coming for you. And when we see girls who are just being bitches, well, you've held up a light to something they really didn't want to see. They really didn't want to see. Even if they disagree with you. Now, some stuff's been going down in the Shallon Entourage. It's our little internet clubhouse. There's like 5 new videos a week. It's great. And I get like real deal Holyfield about what's going on in my life. I do a lot of crying. And I do some like evil plotting. And I recently did a video about something that was evil, something I wanted to do. And this girl just really had an issue with it. And it's not that I had an issue with her having an issue. Everyone's allowed to disagree. I put myself out there. I'm a big personality. Big symbols make big targets. I get it. I have an issue with how people express themselves. I have an issue with how they express themselves, And when you kick up a reaction in someone that is like, I guess we could say disproportionate to the offense, right? The punishment doesn't suit the crime. That's more about them than it is about you. Not that it's not about you. I'm not saying in what I was saying in the Shallon Entourage in my evil post that I was like, there's no reason to disagree with me. No, not at all. But when it's over the top, you're like, oh, this actually isn't about me. Because if it truly was, if this was something you're like, but it hits you in a more neutral kind of way, you could express yourself in a more neutral, constructive kind of way. And when people can't, and I'm sorry, Miranda Lambert could not in that moment. I mean, she stopped mid-song. How often do you see an artist do that on stage? That is like pretty rare. And to like scold, like point at you're pissing me off. And I don't care if the woman was taking an upskirt shot. She paid to be there. She can do whatever she wants. Can you imagine if I met one of you guys and you're like, oh, I love to listen to you like while I'm making dinner and you're on in the background. And I was like, what did you say to me? You have to turn everything else off. Break up with your boyfriend. Put the dog in the trunk of the car and you watch me and nothing but me. What kind of lunatic? I can't even get the words out. What kind of lunatic? It's like, hey, and you guys, you're not even paying to be here. You're not even paying to be here. Do this shit for free. As far as you guys can tell, right? Someone pays to be there? Are you out of your mind? And listen, They don't have the right to disrespect Miranda just because they're paying to be there. They don't have the right to boo or heckle or disrupt the show or throw things. I know this is like a common thing we're seeing in concerts, people throwing shit at the artist. Not at all. Not at all. They're allowed to feel how they feel and behave how they want in the vacuum, which it is. At their table, it's in a vacuum. It's not disturbing Miranda. I mean, and maybe they took a selfie because that song actually meant a lot to them. It was Tin Man. It's an incredible song. It's a really beautiful story, like song about heartbreak. That song meant a lot to me when I was going through my divorce. And had I been there with my bestie who loves Miranda too, we would have taken a picture during that song. We would have like done a little stuff. We would have. Out of like love and reverence for the song. It just, the whole thing pissed me off. It's so weird to me. It's so wild that like at her level, she can still be such a mean girl, you know? It's funny. On the TikTok video, the first hashtag they put on there was narcissist. Narcissist. And you know, I love a fight. I do. I love a fight. I don't start them though. I'll finish them, but I'm not going to start them. So I'm glad that this chick is like talking to the press and she's like, you know, we're not some Gen Zers like on our phone the whole time. It's women who are like age 30 to 60 sharing this experience. It felt like we were in school getting like scolded and told to sit down. And that's exactly what it feels like, right? It's like, whew, it takes us all back to being 7 years old. Sit down. It's very disruptive. So again, not sure a lot of advice there. Just, dude, Miranda, what? Relax, yo. Okay, Sophia, some of the things you guys said. Heather, I love you, Heather. Living the hot girl life no matter your age or circumstance, because Sophia is hotter than most 25-year-olds now that they're all doing body positivity. May I divert for a moment? I feel like on the New York Post, they've been featuring a lot of these stories about like, I'm a woman and I have chest hair and I love it. I'm a woman and I won't ever get a bikini wax before I go to the beach. I'm a woman and I have gingivitis. What do you guys think about that? I think that there's definitely something to be said for, hey, loosening the crazy draconian rules of beauty standards. For sure. You know, and I truly credit Kim Kardashian for so much of that. I mean, before her, it was skinny blonde, that's it. You know, she made it okay to be like short and curvy and earthy, and Sofia Vergara is, I mean, and outside of America, those looks have been more common, for sure. But I don't live outside America. I live in America. And so it was great for me to see Kim come up and, you know, people like that. Even like Natalie Portman, who was so like tiny and bird-like, that also wasn't a thing. I mean, it was like tits or nothing. So I think that there's something to be said for that. Chest hair is a bridge too far for me. It's a bridge too far. What do you guys think? Have we jumped the shark in terms of this body positivity? And you know, I've spoken about this with my Ozempic weight loss, that the body positivity movement is the fat positivity movement. Whatever. Where it's like, love your body, not if you're thin. You look great, girl. Not you, not if you're actually pretty. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I didn't know we're all just enabling around here. Like, love your body, not like that. So what do you guys have to say about that? But let's talk about living our hot girl life no matter the age or circumstance. I think we have seen some older, I'm gonna put this in quotes, I'm here for my finger quotes, older women in these second acts lately. I mean, Gwen Stefani, who was married to Gavin Rossdale forever, and they were like the coolest, like the cool chest bump, cool. And then she married Blake Shelton, which nobody really saw coming. What a weird couple. I still think they're a very toxic couple because their whole dynamic is based on their divorces from other people, one of whom was Miranda Lambert. Anyway, she's in her whole second act, living out on a farm or whatever. Megan Fox was with Brian Austin, that guy, forever. And now she's like in her manic pixie dream girl phase with MGK. And I'm not saying that their second acts are always ultra healthy, but I think there's something to be said for the fact that they're having them at all. Good for them. I mean, the fact that Megan is in this like weird relationship. I mean, she is weird, But like, she probably feels very alive. And if you've ever been in a long, bad relationship, or forget a relationship, if you've been in a small town where you grew up, or a college you hated, or a job that just squeezed the life out of you, feeling alive is a win. Even if it's a little chaotic, hey man, it's a win. Then of course you have Jennifer Lopez, like our ultimate second act girl, our ageless hot bitch for the rest of our lives, right? Finding love with Ben Affleck. Even Rihanna, who's not older, but she's in her second act as a mom and a beauty guru. I mean, she's moving away from this pop star thing, and I'm like, wow, how cool. And who's I just gonna say? Courtney, right? She's like the archetype right now of 44, newly married, pregnant. And I've done videos on her. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but again, she's happy. Good for her. Good for her. And I think that's the root of this, is this hot girl second act, no matter what your age. And listen, your second act can come when you're 27. Okay? It can come when you're 22 and you're like, I'm leaving the church. I'm not doing that. I'm moving to Miami and I'm getting my nipples pierced, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be when you're over 40 or over 50. You can decide when that second act happens. And it doesn't have to only be 2 acts. When I look at my life, oh my God, I've had several. Like, we have our adolescent act. And then I was like in the city and I was super emo. That was a whole world. And then I was like very much like it girl, like Gossip Girl, it girl. I mean, I wrote for Gossip Girl, so I was very much that. And then I was like, I don't know, moving into my YouTuber phase. Now I'm a country girl. Like, I was very international. It doesn't have to encompass the entirety of your life. You can enter a different act right where you are. You don't even have to cut bangs drunk in the mirror after 3 bottles of rosé. You don't have to do it. You don't have to quit your job or dump your boyfriend. You can embody this second act energy in small ways. And let me tell you, there's going to be people who are wagging their finger at you. No, what are you doing? No. Oh, we loved you as a couple. Oh, you really want to leave your job? Oh, why is it only Italians, I think, are saying this? I don't know, but this is where I am right now. Meet me where I'm at. Change is very disruptive. It's very disruptive for people. I have learned that over and over and over again throughout my life because I have had so many acts. I am multitudes. And I don't pick a lane. I am all the lanes. I live in Montana. I ride horses. I shoot guns. I love it. And then, honey, I'm going to private jet to Monaco. Okay? I'm going to Formula One lounge. And then I might be in Mexico being all Latin and let my hair get curly and doing a salsa dance. And if people have a problem with that, fuck them. Fuck them. Sorry I don't fit in a box. Fuck you. Maybe I'll date an older, hot private jet daddy tomorrow. Or maybe I'll hook up with a frat guy this weekend. I can do whatever I want. And like we were saying about Miranda Lambert, the people who have a problem with it have a problem with themselves. We can also say that about the body positivity movement. Wow. I can't believe I tied it all together. I just start these videos. I'm like, I hope we end up someplace that makes sense. Usually we do. Not always. Today I think we did. I deserve a frozen banana. I deserve a treat. These are people who have problems with themselves because what do we hate to see in others? Change that we are not capable of. Of course. We all act like we love a girl who's going through a glow up. Yes, queen, glow up. No, not that much. Hold on. You glowed enough. You can glow up, but just to right below where I'm at, right? This is human nature. Okay? Don't sit around beating yourself up for this. Don't sit around shaming yourself. Just pause and be like, her glow up takes nothing off my plate. Nothing off my plate. There are plenty of seats at the table for all of us. There's plenty of seats at the table for all of us. I don't care what table you're talking about. There's seats. There's seats, man. It's okay. So how can you live this hot girl second act? Well, in order for a new act to begin, the old one has to end. And like I said, it's not a catastrophic wiping of your entire life. It's not a factory reset. I mean, it can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. That's a pretty overwhelming thing. And I can look at myself moving to Montana, and I'm so sorry, you guys, I am going to do a series on moving to a new place, making friends, that whole thing. You guys just give me a little time. This Barbie movie is killing me. I've got a lot of fun Barbie stuff coming for you guys. But I moved to Montana from New York City. You guys know that. I left my boyfriend, all my friends. I didn't know a single person in the state. Everything was different, right? That's how it's easy to paint that. Everything in my life was different. I had a car. I never had a car. I had a dog. I never had a dog. All of this stuff. But wait a minute. Not all of this stuff. I was still a YouTuber. I still had my family relationships. I still had my interests. A lot of things changed, but because, let's say that the only thing that stayed the same was my career. Okay, let's say that that's it. That is a very anchoring thing for me. It is my identity. My career is my identity. You know, for some people, you ask them, who are you? The first thing they say, I'm a mom. I'm Lebanese. I'm a Muslim. For me, I'm a YouTuber. That's who I am, you know? After a woman, that's who I am. And so because I had that still as the constant, everything around me was able to spin. My career was my fixed point. Now for you guys, it might be something different. Maybe it's your workout routine that's your fixed point. It's a very healthy thing. Maybe it's your religion. Maybe it's your relationship with your sister. Maybe it's your relationship with your boyfriend. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your studies. I don't know. But if you're thinking about moving into the second act, ironically, I want you to start by thinking of what you're not going to change. What you're not going to change. And hey, it's got to be something healthy. I know. No, you can't keep the fuck boy. You can't keep the gambling addiction. No, girl. You got to keep something healthy, okay? Something that anchors your identity in a holistic, nourishing kind of way. And then kind of move out. Okay, well, what am I willing to change a little bit? What am I willing to change a little bit? And for me, what I was willing to change a little bit was my style, which sounds silly, but it's a big part of who you are as a woman. How you dress is how the world treats you, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm looking at my closet full of designer stuff and really fancy things and gowns. And I'm closing this closet back up. And I am moving to a new closet, and it will be filled with bedazzled low-rise flare jeans, and I'm not kidding you. It's not that they're back in Montana. They never left. They never left. I have rhinestone belts. I mean, yeah, boots with the fringe. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I am willing to change that. I mean, I still get glammed up, and that's okay. So I'm willing to change how I dress in Bozeman, but I also know I'm gonna need to scratch that glammy itch. So I'm gonna travel a lot. I'm gonna throw parties where the theme is glam, and I can dress up and I can do these things. But I can change that a little. Okay, I can compromise there. What am I willing to change a lot? Was my location. I'm willing, and I was willing to change my friends. I take that back. I take that back because it makes it sound like I'm not friends with those people anymore. And I don't mean that because I am. I mean, the bestie I keep referring to in this video, she's in New York and she's my soul sister, you know? But I was willing to change it, and that the stability that they gave me, seeing them day to day, was gone, right? Does that make sense? So I was willing to change my location, and I guess everything that came with that. Getting a car, you know? Going to Target and filling up my trunk with all sorts of Diet Cokes. That I was willing to do. And so if you can give a high, medium, low chaos tolerance, I have a high chaos tolerance for where I live, for my environment. I'm gonna go from a big city to a small town or vice versa. I have a medium chaos tolerance for how I'm gonna dress and maybe how I'm gonna talk. Gotta start weaving MAGA into my vocabulary apparently. And I have a low to zero tolerance for how I'm gonna change my career. Okay, I'm gonna keep that constant. I'm gonna improve it, but that's not going anywhere. That is the foundation upon which I build everything. Suddenly, moving into your second act, it seems less reactive. I got dumped, I got fired. And it seems more proactive. No. This is a result of planning. I got my list, my high, medium, low, I got a list. And therefore, because it's not reactive, you know what you are? You are bulletproof to criticism. So when people have something to say about your new bangs, you can clap back with, yeah, I know, I meant to do this. I'm going to be moving different. I'm going to be acting different. I have different goals, different priorities. I would love for that to be okay with you, but I'm going to be fine if it's not. Is that not the definition of confidence? And is confidence not the definition of truly a hot girl era? When we think of a hot girl summer, what does a girl do? She's doing this. She's doing a body roll on the beach. She's doing a body roll in CVS, getting ice cream sandwiches. She's having a good time, right? She's having a good time. She is unbothered. Not just by a fuckboy, of course, that's what we think of, but she's unbothered by opinions. She's got her ass out in the thong. Love it. And that, ironically, that devil may care attitude actually traces back to planning. So if you can be strategic, and you know I love strategy. If you can be strategic and plan shifts in your life from things that are never going to change, something that's never going to change, something you are willing to kind of compromise on, change a little bit, and something you're absolutely willing to go completely back to the drawing board on, you have the foundations laid for a really cool second act and a really cool shift in your life. So I'm excited to see what Sofia Vergara is going to do. Well, who she's going to do, because she could do anyone. She could do anybody. She could do my man. She could do your man. She could do both at the same time if she wanted to. No one would say anything. She's so hot. Why not? I'm excited to see what Shakira is going to do. I think there's a lot of shaking and shifting going on with these celebrity women lately, or maybe I'm just more attuned to it because I think it's going on in my life. I'm in a very big experimentation year. I don't mean with like drugs. Like I'm just dabbling in meth. I mean with like, you know, experimenting with reacting differently to things, expressing myself in a way that I never have, having boundaries that never were that important to me, having qualifications for people in my life that I never really thought of. So I think I'm tuned in on this. And I think a lot of you guys are too. There's just something in the air now. I think, you know, we're post-COVID. We're firmly post-COVID. Life is as back to normal as it's going to get. And it's like, okay, what's making me happy? What am I going to do with this? I can take the mask off. I can breathe. Where is my life going? And am I happy with that? More importantly, am I in control of it? I'm not going to be the passenger in my own life anymore. And so I look at these celebrity women, and as sad as it is when people get divorced, I'm like, somebody in this scenario is taking control of their life and saying, this doesn't work for me. And babe, it probably doesn't work for you either. And as painful as that is, isn't it more painful to waste this one wild, precious life that we have? I can't think of anything worse than that. So make your list. High, medium, low, chaos tolerance, and think about your second act. Think about what's working. Think about what's not. Think about what freedom means to you. Think about what success means to you, and go from there. Tell me what you guys have to say about that kidnapped girl, Carly. What you think about Miranda Lambert? Are you team Miranda? Are you team Miranda? Or are you team fans who pay to be there can take a photo of themselves? Tell me what you guys think, and we'll see you next time. I'll see you later, Shalligators.